Hello, I'm Foon, and I write the website hustlecastle.site. We got a lot of new stuff in the game yesterday, new sets, new talents, alliances, and we all got jewelry from one of the new Asian sets. I got a Dragonborn ring. I've already opened and collected it, but all my clan were sharing and opening yesterday. All these had been leaked, but I was surprised that it got pushed live now in this little window between the double December events. I'm a software engineer, and this seems like a lot to release in 1 month, and the month of December when people like to take vacation too. But the Christmas hedgehog has visited me early and paid for me to buy one of the new sets. So that's what this video is going to be. I'm going to buy and test one of the new sets. And I'll keep saying it as long as I can get away with it. I'm new at making videos, so please keep that in mind and your thoughts kind. My other videos were more planned in advance, while this one I'm just going to wing it. So that will affect production quality. You've been warned. Okay, so we have all these new sets. We can look at them a bit. There's one new tank set, the Nameless King. This sounds really good. And about an hour ago, I was pretty set I was going to buy this, but I think I've changed my mind. It's a spear set like Lego, but it has tank armor. It looks like it was made to do damage. It doesn't have survivability really. It's mostly damage, but it has a tank armor, which is nice. Hopefully, it'll have a little more, tankiness, being able to stay alive for a tank set. A tank with tank armor set. We got a bunch of new archers. Let's see. First is this Dragonborn, which also sounds pretty nice. I'm not just going to read it because everyone can see this in the game. My first thought when I was going to buy one is, I should see which one is the expedition, the camel set. The expedition sets are going to be the hardest to get because you can only buy one essence worth a week. So to get a full set of these is going to take 40 weeks. So that was my first thought about, which one would make the most sense to buy. But then I read it here. But then I started reading it and, well, honestly, I don't like it at all. I think of all the new sets, this one, I'm just the least excited about it. The Reaver, the Reaver set, that's what I was talking about. Frost Death is old. Now, Pyro actually sounds really, really good. Sounds like it's going to be another major damage dealer, somewhere between Bane and Incinerator. And this one maybe I think on paper sounds the best or sounds really good. For me, I just made a 2-part Van Helsing and a 4-part Inventor, and those basically still in the box. I've barely even used them. I've had a Bane since it was one of my first 2 sets, so I really don't need a 4th Archer right now. And also this one, the materials are just the regular kind of the regular materials where you get a little bit from every part of the game, and here I've already you know I was I've already got materials just not even trying. So if I decide later on I really want this, it will be easy enough to get. Let's see now. And the last one is there's a new book mage. I think this is past due because there was only one other book mage set, the Necromancer, which is not, oh, it's okay, but it's not that great. And a cool thing about a book mage is there's a rune, the one with a little star on it. I think I have it on my Darkula. No. Okay, this rune has a really cool effect when it's on a book. Let me just stick a book on there for now. So on a book, once in a while, casts a blessing on 4 random allies. Those allies' next attack cannot miss the target and has a 70% chance of dealing damage over time for 3 seconds. Damage done equals 500% of the ally's attack. And yeah, I've seen this rune on books, and it's really nice. So it's cool to see another book mage. Okay, so this is interesting. And if I had better books, if I had really, I have some vent books, but I don't know if I have like the best ones, and I don't have a Res Soul that's a book, unfortunately. And I don't even know how I would get one. It's not one you can just buy. And let's see. Um the two out of six ability, once in a while, shoots a bundle of magic fire at the enemy, dealing 30,000 damage and reducing the target's armor by 20%. The enemy has less than 20% health left. They take an extra 20,000 damage. That sounds fine, not great, but most of the mages are kind of fine, not great at 2 out of 6. Okay, 4 items, slightly improved version of 2, plus once in a while the fighter attacks are enhanced and deal 100% more damage for 5 seconds. Also, the attacks reduce the effective enemy's healing rate. Okay, so wait. The first part, increasing damage, I've talked before about how that base weapon damage isn't something that I really care that much about on a mage. Um, Now, the second part, also, the attacks reduce the affected enemy's healing rate by 30% for 2.5 seconds and their attack speed by 30% for 2 seconds. So that's a little more interesting. But now the 6 out of 6. Okay, so every now and then they're giving 90,000 magic damage and reducing the armor by 45%. And if their health is less than 30%, they take an extra 75,000 magic damage. That's like a real lot. It's getting significant. What's the next section here? Once in a while, their attacks are enhanced and deal 250% more damage. Now, I said how magic damage, base weapon damage, magic damage on a mage, um, it's not anything I really pay a lot of attention to. But if you're going to do a 250% increase, and for 5 seconds, which is a pretty long time, now that's getting kind of interesting. And this could be a nice home for all the orange magic damage gems I have sitting in storage. Also, the attacks reduce the affected enemy's healing rate by 45% for 2.5 seconds and their attack speed by 60% for 2.5 seconds. While the enhancement is in effect, the fighter's magic armor is increased by 35%, so it's even got a little extra survivability. All right, the last section for the 6 out of 6. Once in a while, curses 3 enemies for 5 seconds. The enemies have all positive effects removed. The new one and new ones cannot be applied to them as long as the curse is in effect. While the curse is in effect, the enemies take double damage from bundles of magic fire. That's the stuff here in the beginning that was 90,000 plus 75,000, so double that. Um, uh, and have their max health reduced by 5% per second. The health reduction lasts for 10 seconds. So percentages are additive in Hustle Castle, I've read. So that would be a 50%. You're cutting the health in half. Wow. When the curse wears off, the fighters are petrified for 2 seconds. They take 30% more damage and are dealt another 110,000 magic damage. I mean, that's so much. That's a lot happening there, and it's all good. I think I can't resist it. I don't have a great book or book soul for me to, for this to be like the perfect set for me. But I really, really like the sound of all that good stuff, and I think I just can't resist getting this one. All right, movie magic. I got it. Oh, the mithril came right away. All right, let's see. I got someone ready to put it on. Okay, there she is, my new cultist. So let's test it a bit as is, and then I can reforge at least the weapon and armor to event gear. I'll start off with testing against myself. In this case, I'm going to try dropping my second archer, which is a 4 Pala 2 Hell Song. I've really been liking that one, but it's also the one that gets dropped when I deploy 6 men in Clan War, so it makes sense that it's going to get dropped to to the JV team if this mage ends up working out. I've gone ahead and cleared the alliance that that archer is a part of, so to make it more of a fair fight and to not have too many things interfering, I stripped my hero. Let me just take the artifact off of the Hell Song to make sure it's still a fair fight. Okay, let's do it. Oh, it's really slow. Okay, so I'm going to take out my Hell Song. Oh, I formed a new alliance. That's so frustrating. Uh, okay, so and I formed bombers. The game just loves bombers. If you don't have an alliance, or if if you don't specifically say which one you want, it's going to give you bombers. All right, where's that new one? Oh, there she is. Okay. Nope. Yeah, okay. And I'll fight myself and see who wins. All right, Cultist won pretty easily. That's good news. All right. So here's my cultist. Not doing a lot on paper, but it was a really fast fight. And here is, nope, nope. Here is the Pala Hellsong, which similarly not doing a lot on paper. But they're both support just so it's going to be really hard to test this because of all the, you can't test slowdown very easily. And so I think the best thing to do here is just to see, who I can beat. And that was a pretty quick win, so that's cool. I should probably also test it as a replacement for my illusionist. It doesn't seem like that fair of a test because my illusionist is in all event gear and in arena souls and it's pretty done up. But yeah, let's give it a try. Okay, here is my illusionist. And I'll just take off the artifact to make it a little more of a fair fight. Stick the cultist in the illusionist spot. They all jumped around because of the alliances. I wish I could just have no alliances, but don't see how I could do that here. All right, seems good. Fight myself. And yeah, this doesn't quite seem like a fair fight because illusionist is in all event gear and arena souls. And this one here is, and my cultist is right out of the box. And everyone's dead, but bounce back. Okay, yeah, so the illusionist, I really like my illusionist. It works really well for me. All right, now let's go to round two. I'm gonna do some squad challenges against other fighters. All right, now let's go to round two and put the cultist in the squad and see how I do in some squad challenges. I went ahead during the break and did a couple of these with my existing squad because it's just really time consuming and not that interesting for you guys to watch my old squad and see how it does. All right, so when I was with my old squad, this Silent Dungeon 25 million guy beat really easy. This next one I also beat pretty easily with its Demon Hunter and Snake Charmer there. The next one, the 26 Quiet Clanmate, this one was a lot of back and forth. It was a really close fight, but in the end I lost, and I repeated that 3 times total and lost them all. So, the success here is if I could beat them now with my new cultist. And I also, just for the sake of testing, tried this one. That one was a pretty clear loss. Okay, so I have my new squad up here with my cultist. Let's see how I do against the Quiet Clanmate, who I couldn't beat before. Hey, that's nice news. Maybe money well spent on the cultist. Cool. That was a pretty clear win too. Let's do it again. So let's do this one again and I'll slow it down too. It's hard to see everything that's happening. Cultist is down. I'm not great at watching fights and seeing when things trigger and recognizing the animations, so I'm not great at this kind of testing. All right, Cultist is back up. Will she alone be able to turn this fight around in our favor? That kind of looks like she is. I don't know. This fight, there's all the bags of medicine being thrown by the archer from the last event gear. So it's a closer fight than the last one, maybe? It's hard to... Well, it feels closer because it's slower. Someone turned to stone. Is that a cultist ability? A lot of dinos. A lot of people are being turned to stone, so I think that must be something new. Now they're using the hammer. Really, really in fashion right now, that hammer. Cultist down. Yeah, this is why I'm not good at watching what happens in fights, because it takes so much time at half speed. Okay, this one we lost, but it was a good fight. All right, I want to read that description again. So let's read the ability again. Okay. Bundles of magic fire. Attacks are enhanced. Okay, so this last one. Once in a while, curses 3 enemies for 5 seconds. The enemies have all positive effects removed, and new ones cannot be applied. When the curse is in effect, the enemies take double damage from bundles of fire. and have their max health reduced by 5% per second for 10 seconds. Curse wears off, the fighters are petrified for 2 seconds and take 30% more damage and are dealt 110,000 magic damage. So that petrified must be that stone animation. I mean, I could be wrong. This is not something I'm great at. Recognizing all the animations and knowing what gear is causing that, what special ability is causing different animations. But I don't think I've seen that stone animation before, and it was definitely something my squad was doing. It was happening to their team, not to us. Let's go again. It's already a great sign that I'm doing better with this new cultist than I was before, and I haven't even put any event gear on yet. She does fall down pretty easily, but hopefully better gear will fix that. While we're watching this long battle, I'll mention the game is being really skippy on me and slow, and I'm gonna after I finish before I upload, kind of cut off anything where the game was just kind of frozen. So if you see weird jumps and skips, that's me editing the video. But obviously, the battle I'll leave as it is. Okay, she's back up. Save us. Medicine from the archer. All right, we won. So that's great. So, out of the so 3 battles with my new occultist, and looks like we won 2 out of 3. Whereas before with my Pala Hell song, I won 0 out of 3. So far it's a winner. Is there anything else I want to test before I fix it up? Yeah, I think that's probably pretty good testing for this initial test of just seeing the out of the box standard gear that the set comes with. I got all this this mithril they gave me, so let's try putting some better gear on it to get a more accurate, idea of what the set could look like. Let's see, this one, the materials come from the clan store. And I keep plenty of coins ready for cooking or anything else that needs to happen last minute. So I can just go ahead and buy some right now. I know I don't actually know what these materials. This has got to be the right materials, but I should double check. Yeah, the cultist hood, I know, but I would really be angry at myself if I used my coins on the wrong set. Okay. There we go. That'll be 1 event weapon. 1 event armor. And while we're here, why not go a little crazy? Okay. Okay, let's start with the weapon. Where is she? Here we go, Olivia. Now I've got a couple event books, but I think I've only got 1 good one. I think the best book is the turtle book, but I don't have that one. But is this the joke book? The joke book sounds good. Puts up to 3 enemies around the farthest asleep. They can attack. I may have heard this one was bugged, but I think it's still better than my alternatives, which is just like a kind of vampire effect. Um, and they just take less. I think the joke book is the best one of what I have. Oh, I have to make that first. All right. First, I have to actually make the essence. I wasn't thinking. All right, so I will come back when these are cooked. All right, movie magic. I'm back now with two cultist essences and 2000 mithril. So let's reforge some of that gear. Do 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 do. Did I miss her? There she goes. And not to repeat myself, but here's the book. My best book is the joke book. The best one in the game, I believe, is the turtle book, but this is the best one I've got. Okay, and looks good. Go. And that's nice and instant. And there's nothing here that uses spell power, but I've got all those spell power slots. All right, claim. Okay, let's go again. The armor, I was having a bit of back and forth on what armor to use. I've got a couple decent mage ones that are out of use right now. Is that funny? Funny face, there it is. And I think I'm going to go with this samurai one. It's funny that scroll to the bottom. Did I favor it? Yeah. This one sounds pretty interesting. Creates a small cloud of ice which flies over the enemies. Their attack speed decreased by 15%, and that's going to go to 20% once it's forged. And their movement speed is decreased by 20%. Fighters and all allies get shields blocking 15,000 damage for 5 seconds. That goes up to more than double. And yeah, it's got a couple heart slots. Sounds like it's a decent choice. Select and go. It's done. All right. Looks great. And it's a nice decent roll since it was a purchased item. Okay, now let's see. Let's try to make this more, what it would be like in a real squad. Again, this is not using spell power. So I guess I'll just put a couple heart gems in for now. All I've got ready is purple because I've been focusing a lot on my heart gems, and also I've been using a lot of my Djembe tokens for tombs rather than orange, purple gems. I mean, so a little low. All right, but that's better than nothing, and it's a little more accurate. What else can I do to make her better? Let's put that. Well, no, let's for the sake of testing, I'll leave the runes as they are, but I do want to give her this one at some point. Okay, let's do some more tests again now with her in a little bit of event gear. All right, so here the quiet clanmate here. With my old squad before I added the cultist, I was not able to beat this one. That was a close fight. Adding the cultist with just the out of the box standard gear, I won 2 and lost 1. And now let's see how I do with my event gear. All right, I'll keep the playback slow so that those who are good at watching battles and understanding what happens might get more out of it. And she's down. Obviously, I'm hoping this is going to be a more consistent win. Hopefully, I'll win 3 out of 3 now that it's with the event gear. That should make a big difference. Goodness, I don't think I can handle watching this at at half speed, so I'm going to speed it up. How could anyone see anything that's happening anyway? It's just all explosions. It's still a close fight. The event gear didn't make a huge difference. But again, this is not, it's good gear. It's not the best. That's why I was sitting in storage ready to be used. Finish up. All right, so I lost. I can look at the stats. It's going to be hard to, to really quantify what she's doing. Oop. Yep, my video had to be refreshed, but let's just go read it again. Okay, good news. Got a victory that time. Take a little bit of a look at the stats. It's going to be hard. It's going to be hard to see what they're doing. Yeah, on paper, it's very little. Now, I'm going to jump in again. Before reforging the armor and weapon, I won 2 out of 3. I'd like to see I can at least still win 2 out of 3. And good. Okay. So it's a little disappointing about the reforges that they didn't make a bigger improvement, but it is what it is. At least it didn't make it worse. All right, now let's try one more up to see how I can do. With my old squad, this was a really clear-cut loss running the Hellsong Paladin. Maybe I can get a closer fight now with the Cultist. Nah, it's still a pretty clear loss. This one's too good for me. Okay, I'd like to do one more test. I want to test my Cultist with just a tank, so we can have less going on and see what the animations look like, what's happening, and try to get an idea of cooldowns. So we're going to be looking for the abilities, shooting bundles of magic fire, specifically, and also their own attack should get enhanced at some point, which will, enhance their damage, but also the enemies. It's going to reduce their healing and their attack speed, and they'll take more damage. And then there's the last one is cursing 3 enemies, which has positive effects removed, blah, 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 and have their max health reduced. And then they get petrified. So we're going to see if we can have any of these things happen. The gear, so we might see them fall asleep because of the gear. We might see this ice cloud. Here, the rune casts a blessing. So there's other stuff to maybe look for. All right. So it'll be just a tank, my EOL, versus the tank and the cultist. Okay. So there's this weird little purple sun thing. So that attack with the purple has got to be just the book's regular attack. Okay. I think that is the rune shield, the blue there. Okay, so that purpley sun looking thing is definitely her. Nope, and there he is, turned to stone. Good. So I'm also noticing up here the his total health is changing, so that's working. Yeah, way down now. Okay, that definitely seems to be that blue or that purpley something. Definitely, yeah, the health is down a lot now. Okay, so that if that purpley sun thing is the curse, it's happening pretty often. And then he's a stone again, so that must be the curse. That purple sun, which it's good. It's got a decent cooldown. The point of this duel is to just basically time out and to watch the abilities and see how frequently they are triggering. All right, that should be that purple sun. The health is going down. He's um, that would be the dragon's eye that just rezzed her, and that's the mithril chains on my hero that keeps disarming her, so she throws apples. All right, there's the star. There's the purple star again. Triggered at the same time as tentacles. Oh, he's stone again. Okay, so that the main 6 out of 6 ability, the last one in the description, I'll have to look at the playback again and see how often it's happening. There it is again. And he's stone. I know this is really riveting entertainment right here, watching battles at half speed. That's why I'm not good at it, because it's just really slow. All right, there it is again. And I think it said it's 5 seconds with the curse, and then he should be stone. So on half speed, it'll take like 10 seconds. He teleported. Did that? Hmm. Well, so it was kind of interesting. Is my EOL here has crab armor, so he's supposed to be, relatively immune to a lot of these negative effects, but they're still happening. Right, stone again. And again, his health over here is going all over the place, so it's working. But two EOLs in a duel it'll time out. That was always the intention. Um, so I think that's all I can test. So let's see, when I dueled myself, trying to make things pretty equal by removing alliances as best I could, and by stripping down my hero, version of me with the cultist beat the version of me with a second archer, and I'm using a Hellsong Paladin right now where I was until today, a Hellsong Paladin for my second archer. So that was already like a pretty nice vote for in favor of the cultist. That's an improvement to my squad. Then I did squad challenges, and with my old setup with the second archer, I was able to beat these guys pretty easily up to the quiet clanmate, where it was a close battle, but I lost 3 for 3. Then going back with my cultist, I was able to win 2 out of 3. So 0 out of 3 and 2 out of 3. It's a nice improvement. Still can't be the next one up though. So for me, I think I'm going to keep it. I had been training up to be running Cursed Rangers. That's why I added the second archer, but there's new alliances now and new talents. So if I'm adding a mage instead of an archer, um, you know, that might be something like this Headhunters here, which always love speeding up weapon abilities. So that doesn't look too bad. But I'll have to ask around and see what people like. All right, so there's nothing else to do, but I was thinking I would open up some of these gold dungeon chests. Here, I've got 650 gold dungeon chests, so I'm thinking just open them up and see if I get a nice book soul. And then that's pretty much the end of the video. All right, I'm going to finish opening these 650 gold dungeon chests and hope ideally for a res book soul, but any good orange book soul would be nice. And of course, I wouldn't say no to any res mage soul. Go ahead and place your bets now if you think there will be anything good in these 650 chests. But for anyone who doesn't want to watch that, I'll give my sign off now. Thanks for tuning in. I hope that was interesting. And I guess like and subscribe, as they say. Bye-bye. Hello? Hello again. You know, it knows. I just refreshed the arena store and got a insta-kill scepter soul, which I'm really happy about. But it's like it knows that I have a decent scepter soul, so it's giving me scepter souls now. Almost done. 650 golden dungeon chests, and so far not a single orange book soul. Maybe not even a single book soul at all. This is it. Oop, no book souls. Ugh. Well, lots of purple shards for me to try to craft one myself. All right, bye.